Allah khairan, Ustad. And the next caller that called that mentioned about the hadith where the Prophet ﷺ, if I'm not mistaken, expresses to us that the shayateen, they are locked up or they are chained up. You can inshallah clarify the correct wording of the hadith during Ramadan. Is this an authentic hadith or?
So this is an agreed upon hadith recorded in Bukhari. And the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned the translation that if Ramadan approaches, if Ramadan welcomes us, then the doors of paradise are open, and the doors of the hellfire are closed, and the shayateen are locked up and chained up. And then a caller will call and say, the person of khair, the person who's used to doing good khair, come and do more khair, come and do more goodness. This is your opportunity. If it's sadaqah, if it's all types of good deeds. And another caller will say, oh person of shar, who does evil, now is your time to leave the evil, or a call for him to stop the evil. Now the doors of paradise are open, meaning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will guide so many people towards paradise. The doors of paradise will be open for them, and so many people in this month of Ramadan will be destined to paradise. And similarly, there will be people who were destined to go to the hellfire, but the doors of the hellfire will be closed for them because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guided them in this month, and Allah saved them from the hellfire. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Prophet said, for Allah every night there are people who are saved from the hellfire in the month of Ramadan, subhanallah. And then the shayateen are locked up. So the devils, they don't have an influence over us. Now some of the commentators, they said that these are the small shayateen.
Okay.
The small devils. As for the more powerful ones, they can still have an impact. However, generally speaking, that in the month of Ramadan, you will find that it's much easier to perform good deeds, and it's sometimes harder, those who used to commit sins, even those who are not practicing, usually they stop these sins in Ramadan, usually they start praying, usually they will stop maybe alcohol, even though they're not practicing, but in Ramadan they will stop these things. But we forget that the nafs also has a big part. So shaitan can influence you, but you are responsible for your own self. Because shaitan will say, أَنَا بَرِيءٌ مِّنْهُمْ. Shaitan will say, I am innocent from them on the day of judgment. It wasn't me. It was their own actions. So shaitan can never have an ultimate influence over a person. On Yawm al-Qiyamah, we can't blame anything on shaitan. It is you who accepted, the whispers of shaitan. Also, there's a nafs. The nafs, لَأَمَّارَةٌ بِالسُّوءِ إِلَّا مَا رَحِمَ رَبِّي. The nafs, it orders us all to do, evil, su, sins, temptations, to follow desires, the nafs. And this is why, the month of Ramadan is an important month to do tazkiyat al-nafs, to purify the soul inside us and the nafs, so that you can become from the muttaqeen. As for the two callers, the scholars, they said that this is either an angel who actually calls, Ya Munadi, a caller, will call the person of good to do good, or, it was mentioned that every person will be inspired inside their nafs, that they will be encouraged to do more good, more khair, wallahu ta'ala alam.
Jazakallahu khairan.